Hello everyone, and welcome back to Star Trek Honasto, a Klingon campaign of Star Trek adventures using the rules by Modiphius Entertainment. My name is ELH the Game Master, and joining me are four lovely individuals who will meet right after a very quick announcement. If you're watching this live on Twitch right now, then you should know that later tonight, around 8 p.m., or about 5 hours from now, I will also be running a Daggerheart Open Beta one-shot using the latest rules from from Darrington Press. Darrington Press being the same people who are behind Critical Role. So if you're ever interested to see what Critical Role's up to, what Daggerheart's about, the quote-unquote D&D killer, we do have that one-shot later tonight. But that's enough for announcements. Let's get everybody introduced and we'll get started. So let's start with Steadfast Pig.
Hello. I'm Steadfast Pig. I am playing Brigadier General Akrak here. I'll also be in the Daggerheart thing in a couple hours, so I'll see you guys again very soon. We're excited for a nice little chill traveling episode. We're going to have fun.
Love it. Kern.
Hi, I'm Kern. I play Captain Dagon, son of Ken. And I'm looking forward to a bit of downtime.
Donut.
I am Donut. I play Captain Honasto, the chief surgeon on board. And I guess depending on how well everyone else does, it influences how much we're doing today patching them up.
Fair. And last but not least, Monjaden.
Guten Abend, everybody. Monjaden playing Colonel Maury, son of Povich of House Mokil, hoping that whatever downtime happens, it does not generate too much record of honor paperwork to have to deal with.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
True.
All right, let's get that intro going and we'll get started. And welcome back. So since today is kind of a little bit of a bottle episode, as the Honasto is in the interstellar space between the Milky Way galaxy and the destination of Segue 1, I thought that I would handle the quick opening log for today. So, Admiral Zark personal log supplemental. After the Changeling incident spread throughout the crew like wildfire, I have been drilling those under my command to ensure that no further disruptions to the command line are possible. I say that, and yet we've already identified 3 points of failure within the command line that we've had to rectify via some honor dueling and some additional training. At the moment, I am about to engage within a drill that will entail the entire Honasto entering into a medical quarantine to determine if our force fields and other procedures will be enough to prevent the outbreak of a plague. I would say I have high hopes, but as time has shown, a bit of wariness is prudent and log. So where we begin is on the main command deck of the I.K.S. Honasto. Again, that multi-level large open atrium with multiple command consoles spread throughout the space. The main admiral, Admiral Zark, kind of sits above everyone else on what would be called a command throne of sorts, kind of a podium or some kind of, what's the word I want, a peninsula that exists on the second floor that can see all of the first floor. And then leading up to that sort of peninsula where the command throne is, there's more traffic controls, more things like the main tactical console, things of that nature. Where you all are on the main command deck is your discretion, but since you are the head of your departments, this is very much a I'm delegating instead of I'm doing it myself, unless you want to be involved yourself. This is very much a I'm delegating test, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But Admiral Zark clears his throat and does the bosun's whistle across the ship and says, "This is Admiral Zark. We are now engaging in quarantine test number 3. Please let's not kill half the targs in simulation this time. Test begin." So at his nod, the yeoman to Admiral Zark does hit the button, and the Honasto goes to what I'm going to call green alert, because it's one of those things where we never really see what yellow and red alert are for Klingons. So I always thought that if it was green alert, Klingons don't like green, except on their ships. And even then, on their ships, it's kind of a weird off green.
Set condition puce throughout the ship.
There you go.
It reminds them of the Romulans.
There you go. Exactly. But condition green begins sounding, and I'm actually going to go to each of you in turn and ask what it is your department does during a quarantine, and then we'll do a roll and we'll sort of see what happens. So
Nice.
I'm going to start at the top of the list. Donut, I think you're going to be the star of this, but what is your department doing? What are you doing? How does this look for your department?
All right. Well, if there's a quarantine, the first thing we got to do is assess like what made it through. So specifically, if there is a patient 0, if there's a patient 1, 2, or 3, we got to start locking them down and basically triage what is going on there. So yeah, it is basically all hands on deck in terms of just the containment and possible treatment analysis, all that medically stuff. And like you said, I probably would be barking the orders, somebody trying to keep heads or tails, making sure, is there any, trying to wrangle of security to make sure nobody's getting too spicy, and, probably very close calls to make sure order is maintained so we can actually clear this, problem as quickly as possible with as minimal casualties.
Got it. I like it. Why don't we call this a presence and a medicine? And we'll start at a difficulty of 2. And don't worry, Chad, I did see your complication earlier. That'll come into play at a dramatically appropriate time.
Presence medicine?
Yep, difficulty of 2. All right, we're already starting with a complication. I already know how this is going to go. Nice.
We have 8 threat. Don't give him any more to start.
So here's what happens, Kanas, is you are barking orders. You are telling your department, hey, find patient 0. Hey, it's quarantine this area of the ship. Nobody's listening. It's one of those things where you would be better just going to the Targ pens and shouting for them to solve differential equations. It's just not going well. And what I'm going to say is that the complication is going to be that within maybe about, we'll say 30 minutes of the drill starting, over half of the ship has been taken by this virus.
Fabulous. All right. I think this is where we start to. Might be where I take the special batleth I was gifted off the wall and just start like charging and be like, okay, guys, we're going for it. Just we're gonna make a martial show of things. If nobody's stepping up,
Disinfect or you will bleed.
yeah, basically.
Right. You're sick? That sucks.
Yeah. At this
Start
point,
swinging,
we're
baby. That's funny.
I love it. All right, so that's what's going on in the medical department. Who's up next?
chaos. It's basically that scene of Community.
Oh yeah. Well, the several scenes of Community. There's quite a number.
That's true as well. I'm thinking Troy walking with the pizza and everything's on fire.
Oh yeah, the classic meme. I got you.
Yeah. So basically, Honasto just takes the batleth and is gonna just start charging in and be like, okay, guns, basically the Klingon equivalent of guns a-blazing, clear out, move out, we're doing this.
She's challenging the virus to a duel.
I wasn't going down that route, but if there was a way to do that, I don't know, maybe I would just would it make sense to just pick a random person and be like, okay, we're fighting this out, and get your blood pumping. I don't know.
You will be the champion of this bacteriological talk.
So good.
Who knew a batleth could split atoms?
I can try to piggyback off of that failure to see if we can compensate for some of that.
Yeah, let's actually go to Steadfast and a Croc then. So, Croc, what is your department doing during all of this?
So noticing the complete breakdown of the medical side of handling a quarantine, I guess I'd start trying to command the security teams to just lock down all of the physical bulkheads, right? Forget the medical scans and the shielding and all of the fancy stuff. Just secure every bulkhead with security personnel, and it's they're each going to kind of compartmentalize all of these little sections. Hey, this section might not have any sick, that section might have 3, but if none of the sick people can get out of that section, then we can deal with them later. So it's just trying to damage control, kind of to shut down the core kind of systems, and then kind of put holding orders to maybe deal with it when medical can regroup, that sort of thing, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah. I like it. For you, it would be a presence and a security, also at a difficulty of 2. And security. I think you actually have a focus of Starship security systems here.
Yes, I was going to say either Starship security systems or leadership. I think could both apply.
Either would apply.
All right. That's just to make sure we don't do this again. I will give you a threat. I'll go up to 3 die.
Okay.
Using focus, congregation range. All right. There we go.
There we go. 4 successes, meaning you get 2 momentum back for your troubles. And yeah, it's one of those things where you are. How do I say this? You are kind of the eye of the storm. You're kind of in the moment. You're delegating. You're getting the security personnel to step up, do their jobs, and otherwise make up where medical is running around like a targ with his head cut off. You are bringing order to the chaos that is currently enabled. And thanks to that initial 50% of the ship virtually infected now slows to about 65% of the ship infected.
Okay. Slowing the roll a bit. All right.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let's go to Kern and Captain Dagon next. So, Captain Dagon, what are you doing during all of this?
So I'm going to monitor power levels and be with my engineering staff and make sure that the force fields are working and stuff like that. And what isn't working, well, we fix it ASAP. Start kicking some butts.
I like it. Well,
maybe,
you probably
kill an engineer or 2 because of failure.
Well, that's just a standard Klingon affair. If you don't kill a lieutenant every other day, I mean, what are you doing?
Or an ensign.
Yeah,
an ensign.
A Beck,
We have so many Becks. Get rid of them.
So many Becks.
That's it. That's who.
All right. Well, Dagon, if you could give me a presence in engineering, also at a difficulty of 2.
All right, let's use one of those momentums for a 3rd dice.
Yup.
Form.
You do have a focus of leadership. Definitely would apply here.
Indeed. Roll dice.
3 successes. You get your momentum right back.
Nice.
And yeah, what I would say is that your department, it's not as amazing as a Croc security personnel, but your department is still doing well above what you were expecting. It was one of those things where
so nobody has to die.
Yeah, well, you maybe still want to just shake a batleth at somebody, but actually your department is doing phenomenal. All things
you shake
considered.
a batleth, it might actually work. Unlike me shaking a batleth.
But one thing I would say is that one of your engineers, and if we want, we can give them a name at a certain point, but one of your engineers actually comes up with the idea of using your attached ship, the Bird of Praise and the Negvar, as kind of like a quarantine bay where you can sort of, as you're testing people to move into secured, quote-unquote, safe areas of the ship, You can use the ships that can literally leave the Honasto just in case they become infected, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a good
so
idea.
You're doing amazing. Good job there.
Right on.
All right. And now finally we come to Mon Jadin, who's probably already face palming at the amount of paperwork that's going to be involved with this.
Okay, 2 quick environmental questions. First
Sure.
off, so Maury if he's kind of like the fleet advocate, does he have a staff or underlings, or is it just him?
You would have staff and underlings, yeah. Everybody has staff and underlings on this ship.
Okay. Second question: how much does Maury know about Kanas's, no offense, Kanas, failure to contain the epidemic so far?
I would say, aside from a few choice insults that Kanas is using, you know exactly, because again, this is a ship-wide test, and this is to see where the problems are at the moment, so you would know.
Okay, so I'm gonna gather the underlings after we've ensured that all the records of honor have been sealed, and in case, blah blah blah, in case the virus overwhelms us, that our deeds and song will be jettisoned and known, blah 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 blah. We're gonna start going out and try to shore some of the chaos up. Get people persuaded. Got some of that sweet coordinated efforts action going on. Maybe we'll just start doing Klingon antiviral shanties to sing tales of honor and warn of how many generations will be spat upon if you die while exploring to this viral scum.
I don't know why, but when you said that, all I could think of was that music box in Shrek, and I don't know why that was in my head, but...
The little Duloc one?
Yeah, the Duloc one.
Nice.
I mean, having not seen Shrek in a couple years, all I can think of is it's a little music box version of All Star, but that works too.
I mean, both really could apply. They really could.
But yeah, we're out to kind of stem the human tide here and hopefully stop that 65% number. Maybe eventually keep it, turn it around somehow.
All right, I like it. Why don't you give me a presence and a command, also at a difficulty of 2, and you do have coordinated efforts as a focus.
And I think I got the commanding bloodline and veteran, which does fun things too.
Mm-hmm. Well, veteran's not going to come into play unless you use your determination.
Right.
But your command task, you will be able to ignore the first complication roll.
Okay, here we go. Yes.
Which you don't even need. You actually get a momentum bringing you up to 3. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to let you describe, because since you're shoring up the chaos, I'm going to let you describe how you bring order to chaos.
The way that Klingons bring order to any kind of chaos. Opera. We're gonna, there's gotta be some Klingon shanty about, how the warriors fought the plague, and through every bandage they wrapped and every disinfectant they wiped, war honor was restored to their houses. And I don't know, maybe it's hip hop, maybe it's like some kind of like disco track, but whatever it is, we're gonna make it, and we're gonna try to make this raise of honor even more infectious than this fictitious virus.
You said that, and now I just have this image of like Klingon like pop and Klingon synthwave and
K-pop, like in Strange New Worlds.
Oh god, yeah, the musical episode.
Deadass, I was thinking eventually like having some kind of Klingon hip hop dude concept thing for this, but this works too.
All right, well, apparently it's canon now.
I like Klingon synthwave. I'm down.
Oh Lord!
There we are. Right there.
I loved it.
So good.
All right. Well, the good news is that now that everybody's had a chance at stemming the tide, the end result of the drill is that 70% of the Honasto has been infected by this virtual virus. And as Admiral Zark calls for the drill to come to a close, he kind of clears his throat and says, "That was not great. I do applaud those departments that were able to step up and handle the problem that medical apparently had issues with. but this is unacceptable. 70%, that is a gross loss of life, a gross dereliction of duty. We will do it again. And yeah, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to do one more set of rolls, and then we'll open up from there. So, Donut, does Kanas want to try again to reclaim her honor?
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, this time it is a presence and a command. It is still a difficulty of 2. However, the complication from chat that I'm going to use is that after being dressed down by the Admiral, your department is not doing so great in the morale department. And what that's going to mean is that your complication range will become an 18 to 20.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
All right, do we have let me check.
Can can I ask one question? Since our department did okay, and it was pretty obvious that medical did not do so well, can I proactively declare that I'm gonna try for my turn to assist Kanas in this?
I'm trying to see if I have anything that'll help.
You do have bold medicine, so if you do
That's
give
true.
me threat...
That's what I'm thinking. I might do that. I mean, we've got a lot of threat going on, but what's one more between friends?
So if I do get to assist, hopefully through command, I would get you would get to re-roll 1d20.
Oh wait, but I'm not using medicine. I'm not doing a medicine roll. You said it's a presence command roll.
Whenever I assist a character using my command discipline.
Oh, sorry, I missed what you were saying.
Yeah,
I was looking the rules up for bold medicine at the time. Okay, all right. So then, so I can't use bold medicine because I'm not rolling medicine. But
for you, it'll be a presence medicine.
Oh, presence medicine. Okay, that's a little bit. Okay, so I will use a threat.
Okay.
Or add a threat to do bold medicine. So I will buy another d20. So I'll bump it up to 3. I don't change the complication range, right? That's on your end.
You would change it to 3 in this instance.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
All right. Well, that's already 4 successes, and then Maury, if you want to do your own presence command assist, as a reminder, assists are always 1d20.
Beat me to the question.
Well, the good news is you have commanding bloodlines, so we can ignore that complication.
That's so funny.
Yes, thank God for that.
So, Kanas, what's going to happen is, despite the low morale, perhaps it's your shaking of the special batleth, or maybe, you're finally getting through their thick skulls. They need to listen to their chief surgeon guy, K.S be damned, that sort of thing. But your medical department is getting their asses in gear, and you get another 2 momentum, bringing you up to 5. Maury does try to assist you, but interestingly, his security personnel are kind of getting in the way, so you almost have to yell at them to get out of the way of your medical staff, if that makes any sense.
They're trying, but they're helping in the way my cats help by being underfoot.
We should not have switched to a cappella.
It's true. Gotta have that soundtrack.
All right. Well, the good news then is, since you actually have a medical staff that's succeeding, you are able to stop the initial spread to about 10%. So a significant improvement.
Great work. That's all you just gotta do is threaten them a little bit.
Let's see how Akrak and Dagon do. Let's go to Dagon first. Dagon, again, this is another presence and engineering. Still difficulty of 2.
2. Okay, I'm going to use a momentum to give me 3 dice.
Okay.
And then leadership still counts as a focus.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty.
You guys are nailing it. Yeah, that's another 4 successes, which means I believe you're capped on momentum.
We are.
So, Dagon, what is your staff doing a little bit differently this time?
Well, we're replacing all those rusty parts that didn't work the last time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm making sure that the power levels, that medical gets a little extra power, so they can do their computing and all that shit.
Okay.
Nice.
I like it. So yeah, again, since you have a success here, the initial infection is now at about 15%. So it is definitely slowed tremendously from what the first test was. But there's always a chance that something could break down as we go to Brigadier Crack. So Crack, for you, it's a presence security.
Cool. And with the better success, I'll have security teams kind of focus on kind of hard quarantining essential systems, so we don't have any more major breakdowns on the back end of stuff.
Okay.
All right, so presence security.
I was so hoping he'd break down. That way I could challenge him.
right. I'll go ahead and use momentum. Go to 3 die. Complication range is still standard for me.
Still standard. Yep.
Copy that. And my god.
My God.
So
Wow.
actually, with 6 successes, you go back up to 6 momentum. But if I count correctly, that means you have 3 floating momentum. And what that means is you could create an advantage here using 2 of that floating momentum.
For sure. I'll use 2 of that to create an advantage where I'm just really angry that things didn't go super well the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I start out the thing by just screaming to all of my teams like, hey, it wasn't technically our fault the first time, but we win or we lose as a team. So keep an eye on the people that aren't doing well and compensate for it, or I'm going to come down there and it's not going to be fun if I show up.
Okay.
So the fear of God.
What sort of mechanical effect or maybe lore effect do you want your advantage to be? Do you want it to be that you have put the fear of I.K.S into your warriors and they will always listen to you no matter what the order is? Is this something where future drills, they will have a little bit less of a challenge doing things, basically lowering the difficulty? Like, what are you sort of fishing for with this advantage?
Yeah, I'd say let's try to focus on the idea that in the future, when these drills happen, it's gonna their instincts are gonna kick in, so it's gonna be easier for them to do the task without having to really think about it. So lowering like their complication or difficulty for sure.
The difficulty.
Yeah,
Okay,
difficulty. Yeah.
Make a note of that. So security, personnel, lower difficulty in crisis. All right, got it. And that may or may not come into play as we move into Seg 1 later on. But yeah, at the end of this drill, Admiral Zark kind of calls for the drill to come to an end, and he looks at the pad that he's handed by his yeoman, and he goes, well, if I was not reading the results myself, I would have believed that they had been falsified. It seems that we have rectified our issues, and that the final infection rate of the ship was only 16%. That is a remarkable improvement in such a short amount of time. You are all to be commended.
All right.
However, at this current juncture, I still would like to see that number lower to perhaps 5 or 6%. 15 or 16% of warriors infected and out of commission is still not what we would want, but I will take this as a satisfactory passing for now. You all are free to go about your duties as per usual. We will resume drills tomorrow in the morning, and we will be doing tactical drills then.
Ready then.
I'll not do that. Thank you, Admiral. We will continue working. Thank you.
And then the Admiral just sort of nods to each of you in turn, and then nods to any other department heads, and then he just sort of gets up and heads to his office.
Okay.
Which now, open-ended question, where do your characters go and do from here?
Well, the job's not yet done, so I'm still gonna, look at all the any fails that were any equipment that was failed, or any individuals that failed in their duties, and then do an assessment from there and write up my own report on the 2 exercises, and then I'll go inspect the ships.
Okay.
Or outboard ships here. Yeah.
Nice.
Make sure they're in tip-top condition. This time I'm beaming in.
Right.
I did make a note of that you would always beam in for your inspections.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, well, if I always do that, then they'll expect me to beam in, so they'll put up sensors to detect that. So not going to do that all the time.
Noted.
Just gonna find different ways to get on the ship.
Just
Back door.
break out a boom tube or just start transwarping into the
Actually-
bridge. Just
Actually, I was so the Nekvar, for example, has a troop transport and a shuttle bay that you can enter as well. So
Try to infiltrate it.
I was gonna say go in like in a cake or something, like Trojan horse it.
go through the back doors or kind of thing.
Hide inside a targ.
Idea. You could do a Trojan blood wine cask.
Oh, that's a
great.
good idea. I don't know. I think I'm a little heavier than a whole barrel
out of a
of
cake.
blood wine. Though.
Oh, I love it. All right, so that's what Dagon's doing. Open floor. Who wants to handle something next?
I'll jump in. I have some questions about House Laurie.
Okay.
So who is their current highest ranking individual at present?
Let me see if I've written anything down.
Because we know we took care of the changeling ones within the house,
Mhm.
and that's very dishonorable.
We're going to perform some summary executions.
Yeah, I think
On the rest?
right. I think the highest ranking officers, the plan was that they were not going to be around much longer. But I think we discussed like the Becks and like lower ranking individuals probably had no idea what like the general and like higher up plans are. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'm just going through my notes on my end.
Yeah. So while
Um,
you're looking through the notes, the idea that I have is wondering if the survivors of House Laurie, I would like to hold Batleth tournaments with each of their ranking individuals that are still living,
mhm.
to see which of them is the best, and then offer them a chance to bring honor to themselves on this mission by forfeiting their claim to House Laurie, and
Ooh.
becoming either a part of House Koloth mine or creating their own house with their own designated leader, because this is a big important journey, and if I don't want them to don't be permanently dishonored by what House Laurie did when you don't have to be a part of it. This is
Why not
one
just get them to
chance at
come-
redemption.
Yeah, maybe or what about have them just be houseless? Like, look, you guys have been,
Right.
your entire house is dishonored.
Yeah,
Come in
also
separately or
totally
die.
okay. Right, exactly, yeah.
Debating how to handle this in a roll fashion.
Sure.
Tell you what, roll me 10 challenge dice. So hit the perform challenge and then do
Copy.
10 challenge dice here. If you roll a number like a 1 or a 2, that amount percentage, basically if you roll a 1 or a 2, they'll join House Koloth. If you roll an effect, they'll make their own house. And then
Okay.
if you roll blanks, that percentage will be honorless or houseless.
Copy.
Okay, so let me quickly do the mental math here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about 50% will join House Koloth.
Okay.
And then 20% will make their own house. And that leaves 30% that will be honorless, houseless, whatever you care to be describing them as. Houseless. Awesome. Cool. Anything else you want to do before I go to someone else?
No, I'm just gonna be spending my downtime kind of reallocating those warriors to find better paths, and probably some tournaments to figure out which of them is the strongest, figure out where they lie. That sort of thing.
Okay. All right. We now go to Kanas and Mori. Which one of you would like to go next?
Well, I certainly want to, very disappointed in my medical staff, and I want to get to the bottom of what it was. Was it that they, fear, were they afraid? Did they feel undertrained? Did they not feel like they had the, the medical knowledge to tackle, an infection of this thing? Or were they just, spineless about it? So figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Let's do the same thing. Roll me a 10 challenge die, and we'll make a percentage of people for you to yell at. Let's take a look. All right, so let's see. That is, and I'm making notes here on my end as well. So it looks like about 36% of your staff, or not 36, just 30% of your staff were just overwhelmed. Like, they had the knowledge, they had the training, but they were just, there's only so many hands to go around. So they were doing their best, but they were just overwhelmed. Another 30%, those effects, were more or less spineless, as you put them, so they just didn't have the gumption, as it were, to deal with such a plague. And then the remaining 40% was lacking the initial training.
All right. So trying to think about how do I like I said, we got it, that 40%, like they can learn. They had the warrior strength. They just needed the brains, I guess it were.
The braining, maybe.
So they need to get back to the books, hit the books. I don't know what the analog there is.
Hit them with books.
Hit them with books, and they'll absorb the knowledge somehow. However, you also want the spineless ones. Those are the ones I want to, really put through the ringer.
Ooh, here's an idea. Your staff didn't do so well at medical anything. My staff did not have much to contribute. Cross-training? Staff exchange?
That's true. We can put them against the paper pushers. If they were spineless, they can go and dot I's and cross T's over there.
You are medical specialists. Are you telling me that a bunch of singing lawyers could outdo you in virology?
Ooh, yeah, I like this. I do like this. What do you call it? Tournament of clash of the pansies. They got to restore their honor somehow.
What? Wait, what'd you say about my staff?
It's too late. It's been entered into the record. It is literally called the Clash of the Pansies. That is now the official name of record.
Correction, the guy who is in charge of the record in campaign is very much not going to make this doctors versus lawyers dispute the Clash of the Pansies.
Well, anyway. Okay, well, did you have any pansies? Because I had some pansies.
My staff was more than honorable in facing an unknown, unseen, killing, dishonorable bacterium with our throats, voices, and our honor. You slashed the air with a weapon that was ill-suited to the task, Doctor. I would say that while we can learn, your team must learn honor.
Yeah, I ain't arguing that. These chuckleheads. I guess I wouldn't call them a chucklehead. I would call them a chucklehead.
Yeah, I think there's just going to be a bunch of lawyers that are sneering and looking a little bit down at this medical team.
I mean, to be fair, they do deserve it. The ones who, didn't have the guts to step in where they needed to. Yeah, no, they deserve it. So I don't know what the best way. Definitely some sort of duels or battling out to.
Yeah, you don't want to let this insult to the honor of the medical staff of the I.K.S. Honasto slide, unless you do want to let it slide.
So I have an idea, and I'm just going to run it by. We don't have to go with this, but you know how like in commercials and at like trade shows, like sometimes there'll be like a vacuum where they're like, hey, I'm showing off how much dirt this vacuum can pick up, or hey, I'm going to ruin this carpet and we're going to race the vacuums to see who picks up the carpet the best. One of those things. Like, I'm imagining they're kind of a competition between the lawyers and the spineless, where we're seeing who can disinfect an area the fastest, or who can disinfect the area properly in the shortest amount of time, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking more like infomercials. Like, look at this, the mega disinfectant is wiping up 20 more killicams of bacteria-infested ship. Something like that.
I like it.
I mean, they deserve to be humiliated if they want to restore their honor and not get like transferred out to cleaning out the targ pens.
I like it. I'm just
So
debating
yeah, I am all for some sort of show of like, definitely some sort of public spectacle of like it's put up or show up or get out. Like at this point, like Kanas is not happy that her team did not show up. Again, the people who were just overwhelmed tried their best. Okay, there was a lot going on. The ones who just needed to learn more, okay, well, they got to hit the books and maybe hit themselves with books. But the spineless ones, no room for them on a Klingon ship. Like, prove yourself or get kicked out of my med bay.
Well, I think that, I don't know, Mori's objective here, I think, is more like get the spineless to grow some spine, because otherwise, if his team and his staff now have to take on some medical responsibilities, he's going to have to cover the excess. So this is something where the medical team has to win. Now we have to kind of set them up for it. Uh-oh.
Tell you what, Kanas, why don't we handle it this way? Why don't you give me another presence and medicine? I will set the difficulty at a 3.
All right, mind if I throw momentum at this one?
Not at all.
Go for it.
We got plenty to spend.
All right, I hit the button. So I think we went down. Perform task.
Survey says. Okay, so it only rolled 1 die, so go ahead and roll another die.
Oh yeah, oops! I
I
hit the button. Okay, so let me do one more.
Okay.
There we
So I can offer you a success with a complication, since it was a difficulty of 3 and you only got 2. I can offer you a success with a complication.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We have a lot of threats. So
Oh, that's not a lot of threat for a Klingon campaign. There.
Okay, we'll do it.
Okay, then on second thought, then yeah, let's go for it. Yeah, I'll take the complication.
Wait, I thought that like 12 threat was enough to spawn a Borg cube.
13, but nobody's counting.
Well, okay. Well,
Counter
hey, if half the people are like lay on the threat, I'm all for it. Like I'll take the.
Oh yeah,
complication.
I vote no.
I'll commit. Yeah, whatever.
For the love of God,
So-
please don't do this. Not so early.
So here's what the complication's going to be. The spineless, most of them, I'm not going to give a hard number, but most of the spineless, after being humiliated in public and seeing that singing lawyers are doing a much better job, most of them get their shit together and buckle down. Most of them. One of them in particular, though, is actually going to go the other direction, where Kanas, they are going to openly walk up to you with a batleth and point at you with the spiky end of the batleth and go, I believe that the fault here was not with us, but with your poor leadership. I challenge you for leadership of the medical staff of the Honasto.
We're doing this. We're doing this.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna get my special batleth. The one that goes up instead of a diploma from Klingon U.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let me just quickly remind myself what your things do. Okay, so let's put physician's eyes is important here, because you can add your security or medicine, whichever is higher. So that has been noted. And then I got to remind myself what your special batleth does. You add a d20 when attacking. Awesome.
All right. Cool.
This guy better have no head
means,
when you're done.
What that means is, as a duel works, is it's going to be just back and forth until somebody falls. Whether or not you kill them is your discretion. But it will be a set of opposed daring and security rolls. So since you are a player, you get to go first. So make sure you're doing daring and security. And what I would tell you is you want a large number of successes here, because the more successes you get, that's more that the enemy has to beat.
Right. So, okay. So I have. Let me see what I have. So I will perform task. Let me see. Do I have any focus that would really work? Not really. Determination's value. Oh, I can use my determination, right?
You could. It would give you 2 free successes to start with.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
You just got to tell me what value would apply here.
I would go with I had only a complete warrior gains honor, because I'm thinking to myself as like, these guys were definitely not showing honor, and they are showing some complete like brain flaws here, for lack of a better term. I think that's kind of what I'm challenging here is that kind of that's what I'm putting it for. I don't know if that works or not, but that's what I'm thinking.
It works.
They are incomplete warriors, therefore they can gain no honor.
Yeah, like they're yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll use I'll say I don't think I have a focus that really works here.
Now, how many dice do you want to roll?
All right. So determination value, that gives me an extra 2, right?
That gives you a die that has already rolled a 1, so it's 2 free successes.
Okay, 2 free successes. All right. I'll blow another momentum.
It would be 2 momentum because the determination die counts as a bot die. But it would be 2 momentum or 2 threat for the third die that you're rolling. And if you wanted to roll 4 dice, it would be 5 momentum or 5 threat or any combination thereof.
All right. Well, probably don't want to add 5 threat because that'll summon the Borg. So what we got? We've got 5 momentum. I don't want to blow all of our momentum. So if I use 2 momentum,
you'll be rolling 3.
I'll be rolling 3. And that's not including the freebie one, or that is including the, I guess.
As long as you hit the determination value, it'll handle that automatically in the roll.
All right, so I'll use 2 momentum.
Okay.
Roll the
dice.
dice.
You just got a momentum from chat as well. Thank you, and a complication from chat. All right.
Well, thanks.
Perfectly balanced.
As all things. All right. Okay, so I'm rolling. Let me just make sure I have daring security. Okay, here we go.
Okay. 5 successes, which means in order for you to not land a blow, I have to roll 6 successes here. So what I'm going to do, because I'm going to walk everybody through it, I'm going to take that complication that chat just gave me. That's going to bump it up to 12 threat. Because this guy really believes that you no longer should be head of medical staff on the Honasto, I'm going to dump 6 threat, bringing me down to 6 threat, so that he is rolling 5 D20 here. So let's see how well he does.
Let's get a complication.
All right, 63. Let me expand that out so everybody can see what that actual roll is. So that's a 17. Nope. The 8 and the 7, that's 2 successes. The 18, nope. The 13, yes. So that is only 3 successes, which is less than 5. So you actually get 2 momentum back, and you get to declare whether or not you're doing a lethal or non-lethal attack against this individual.
Ooh. Yeah, I think lethal. You do not challenge your head of your department and expect to come out of it.
Okay. So actually, you know what just occurred to me? We didn't include your special batlet die. So actually, you would have 2 floating momentum to create an advantage if you so wished.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to make a bigger note for myself about your batlet because it gave you an additional D20 to start.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so one attack. Yeah, see, for me, I'm still thinking in terms.
That's right.
I'm thinking in terms of like attacking as like a damage roll. So like I missed that too. Like I looked at it, I was like, oh, I had an extra D20.
Yeah. No, we just got to make a bigger note of it. That's all.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm not holding back because somebody's challenging me like that. Not doing that.
Okay. So why don't we roll damage and then we'll determine what the advantage might be for this attack. So the way you can do it is you can either click the little comm badge next to Special Bat'leth, or you can put in 8 challenge die, whichever you prefer. Okay. Maybe instead of an advantage, you could spend one of that floating momentum to re-roll some of those challenge dice.
Yeah, I will do
Definitely.
that. I will do that.
Okay.
So I hit just re-roll results?
Or enter another perform challenge and just how many you want to roll. I would recommend the 4 blank ones.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
There's a 4.
Okay. So
That's
that
better.
is a grand total of 7 with 3 effects. And since the Special Bat'leth has Vicious 1, that brings your total damage to a 10. So, how do you dispatch and remove this Klingon's existence from the Honasto?
Just straight for the neck, junk.
Surgical precision.
Yeah, surgical precision, just slip decapitation.
Okay.
Make a very good show of it to encourage the rest of the staff.
All right. So the head goes lolling down the steps outside your main surgeon bay, and I think your underlings kind of look between you and the head, and then back at you, and then one of them kind of goes kapla and raises their dagger, and then there's a shout of kapla that kind of goes out throughout your staff. And what I would say is that if there are any spineless remaining, they definitely don't have the spine to confront you any further.
I don't think we're going to see a second one of these.
Exactly.
They just found their balls.
Exactly.
Or they're gonna go and be like bar hands or something. Like they're gonna stick around. They've either found their spine or they're out of here.
Love it. All right, Maury, was there anything else you wanted to handle before I move us to the next scene? Because I think I've gotten everybody at this point.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to conclude that the lawyers have not become the new doctors. I guess we'll have to do some accepting of the medical department's was success with grace, and I suppose as a concession of their reclamation of their honor, we will allow them to make requests of the next inspiration should they need it. So, yeah, you get first pick of lawyer karaoke. I'm sorry.
You haven't heard Toxic until it's in the original Klingon.
Are other people allowed to the lawyer karaoke, or is it exclusively lawyers?
Oh, it is only honorable if you do not sing Don't Stop Believin' until the last song of the opera
I
night.
see.
Nice.
Love it. Right. So we're going to move to the next scene. And what that's going to look like, if you'll remember a few sessions ago, you all kind of have a daily morning ritual where you all go to the same bar and club aboard the Honasto. Specifically, you go to Boy Nagap, the elite bar and club for the upper echelon or any members thereof. And this time, as you all sit down, Seal, the Gorn owner, that's a mouthful.
That's a tough one.
Seal comes over with plates of fresh ga, cups of fresh great blood wine, and as she sets it all down, she kind of looks over all of you and goes, "So, I'm just really curious. Is it true that we all died in that simulation drill from yesterday?"
Only 70% of you passed away. I believe that you have some regeneration, so you may have fared slightly better than many.
The second attempt was only 16%.
So 17 and 16. Well, I'm sure that we would have done fine here at Boy Nagap.
You have a large supply of natural disinfectant on hand. I am sure that the bar would fare quite well. And he's gonna kind of make a raised eyebrow over the blood wine, raising up a cup.
Well, I tried to not give you pure disinfectant this time. Then she winks.
Does that imply you've given us disinfectant previously?
I will let that be to your imagination. And she gives you another wink.
Either way, it's very good, so no complaints thus far.
My only complaint is that it is unnatural for Gorn winking to happen, but I will appreciate the moderate inclusion of interesting disinfectants to help spice the wine.
So you don't like Gorn blinking? I mean, what am I supposed to do, bare my teeth at you? Because that could be taken a completely wrong way.
True.
Actually,
I appreciate it, but I am not your type.
Oh, I'm not interested in you, honey. Don't worry.
what's the Gorn's name, just out of curiosity?
Seal. Seel.
Oh, that's the owner.
Yeah, that's the owner. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought this was a different waitress.
No, this is the legit owner. But as she kind of looks over the meal and says, "Well, if you need anything else, just flag me or Shazi down, and we'll get you situated. But I was also asked to deliver this." And she puts a note like an old bit of parchment, of Klingon parchment, with like a wax seal of a house on it. And you see that it actually is the house belonging to Admiral Zark. And she says, the Admiral dropped by and asked me to hand this to you all. On my honor, I haven't looked inside, haven't broken the seal, but he said it was important that you get this.
Thank you for delivering the message, then.
And then Seal nods and goes back to do bartender owner things.
Rather an unusual way to deliver messages.
Hey, but if it works, it works.
Other than the fact that it's on waxen and parchment, is there like any significance that we should be aware of, or that might be like record of honor knowledge for when paper comes from an admiral? Anything symbolic of this that we should know, or is it just a piece of parchment?
I'm going to let your imagination fill in the blanks.
Okay.
Okay.
It's either serious shit or ceremonial shit inside.
I think either way, we probably shouldn't open it in a bar, right?
It doesn't say do not open not in a bar.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it doesn't say don't open in the bar. And we got it in the bar, ergo.
He gave it to the owner of a bar to give in a bar.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it is specifically a bar.
Maybe it is
message.
for the bar. Yeah, I think it's more ammo to open it in the bar.
Sure. I mean, it was also delivered assumedly in public where people could see it, so it's not like it's covert.
Yeah.
And it's the upper echelon. Like, it's like the officers one too. So if it was anything, like, we're not with the common rabble.
I mean, there's no secrets aboard a ship, but this is a little bit less secret.
Sure, I'll pass it over to Maury and you can do the honors then.
All right. Well, nothing was it. Since it's from the Admiral, it must be opened honorably, so let's use the dog as a letter opener and read what's in. And no, I don't want to roll to attack it. I just want to gently slice it open.
Well, it turns out the letter's a mimic. It's actually another changeling, and it doesn't take kindly to your dagger. Yep. No, I'm not going to do that. But you open the letter, and it actually is a very quick note. It says, as part of the tactical drill today, there will be 2 stages. The first is that I do not want any of you present because I want to see how your departments fare without you being present.
Underlings. Mm-hmm.
The second time, when we enter into phase 2, is that I want you all to act as saboteurs, as mutineers. More or less, I want you to see how far you can get to the command deck without completely destroying our security forces along the way. What he means by that, out of character, is that he wants you to try to take over the ship.
Gotcha, okay.
But he also doesn't want you to kill everybody you meet along the way.
That's hard, man.
So we're going to use the stun setting.
Yeah.
Are we presuming from this that the rest of the Honasto crew is also on that? So it's not like hey, I'm your Joe instructor, let me in. And then it's like conflicting orders. They're well aware that we are part of the exercise?
You know what? I'm going to roll a challenge die. Let's see what happens. And I'm just going to quickly borrow Kanash's sheet. 2 successes. I'm going to say that as far as the note from the Admiral says, nobody will be aware that you will be the agent provocateurs, or whatever that word is. Saboteur.
Provocateur.
Right. Provocateur.
Agent provocateur.
That's it. Provocateur.
Okay, well.
But the good news is that the drills do not start until the afternoon, so you have the entire morning to yourselves.
So this morning, I'm going to work on that hurt device that I'm, trying to fix.
Oh, the time travel one? Okay.
That one too, sure. But the captain of the
the one the Mangholm gave you. Yeah, I remember now. Okay.
I'm gonna work on that too.
Okay,
I'm gonna begin fabricating. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna go to a cargo bay there and work on that in the cargo bay as a private project. Okay. I don't want any of the other engineers working on it yet.
In that case, Dagon, why don't you give me a control, or you know what? I think this might be an insight because you're trying to figure out what's wrong with the devices here. Give me an insight in engineering And I'm going to set the difficulty at a 2, and you would have a focus of reverse engineering.
I'm going to use 1 momentum to give me an extra dice. Boom. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to say with your 2 floating momentum, you could create an advantage, or you could tick the clock down 2 steps. So what I mean by clock is that I have a kind of hidden clock of when you'll discern or fix or otherwise get the device in working order. But it is a value I'm keeping secret. So you have the chance here of reducing that clock by 2 steps in addition to the 1 from success. So it would be a total of 3 if you spent both of the 2 floating momentum.
Yep. I'll spend 3. So that brings us down to 5.
Let me make a note of that then. So what that's going to mean, Dagon, is you are pouring your insight into this Herc device, and you are starting to understand that the Herc, as much as they are prevalent in Klingon society, that this is something perhaps a bit of a... How do I want to say this without spoiling the mystery? This is something that could potentially be, if you're understanding what it is, this could be a new form of power generator, potentially.
Ooh, interesting.
But that's only your hypothesis. You still have to run some tests. But if this is a power generator, it's a kind you have never seen before.
Well, sounds even better.
All right.
All right, cool.
So that's what Dagon is doing with their morning. Let's go around the table once more. Crack, what are you doing with your morning before the drill?
In preparation for the drill, I'm going to go and study up on, I guess, these security protocols that I've created, see what kind of shifts will be on call for the drill tomorrow and all of that, and see if I can find a gap in the security movements.
The drill's today, but I get what you mean.
Oh, yes. My apologies, yes.
No, you're good. Why don't you give me an insight security, difficulty of 2.
Copy. Insight security. I will spend momentum, go up to 3 die. Would Starship security systems still come into play?
Oh, yeah.
Copy.
Another 4 successes, meaning you're capped on momentum again.
Wowzers!
So
I gave them an advantage to be better in crisis situations, which will work against me during the drill.
It's a little bit weird. So with your advantage, there are actually how do I want to say this? Let me rephrase that. So because of the advantage you made earlier, it is hard to find an area where your underlings wouldn't perform, be able to step up in your absence, or even stop you from getting to the bridge and assuming control.
Yep.
However, one thing that you're going to notice, and you'd have to confirm with Dagon for this to be true, but as a reminder, there are multiple command bridges aboard the Honasto. Okay. And the auxiliary command deck is understaffed at the current moment, simply because nobody's using the auxiliary command deck.
Sure. Okay. So maybe potentially we can break into the auxiliary command deck, and then we could have kind of core controls be transferred there as part of our infiltration thing.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay, I will. I'll find Dagon wherever he may be.
I don't know, Dagon. Would you still be in the cargo bay tinkering?
I would.
Okay, that's where you find him.
Dagon, I have a plan for a little thing today. I want to make sure that it tracks on the engineering side. Would you reasonably, security's understaffed on the alternate command bridge. If we were to infiltrate that location, could you move control of the Honasto to that location?
Yes, I could.
There you go. That's an easy way to take over the ship. It seems like they weren't expecting it, and took me some digging to figure it out, so that's at least an area that we can refocus on if we succeed here.
Indeed. Good idea. I like it.
I think it'll be fun. I'm a little excited.
Offer a challenge.
Cool. Yeah, that's my thing.
All right. Let's go to Maury next, and then we'll go to Kanas. So Maury, what are you doing with your morning?
Okay. So, as to the part where we're meant to be attempting to take over the ship, we all have seen that. As far as we know, nobody else has been given this notice, but it's possible that others. But we're all in on it, though, right? Like we know that when the drill's going to start, that's when we're allowed to start making our maneuvers, and our staff.
Correct. Yeah, you were given a time and when the drill will take place. But as you have sussed out, you don't know if anybody else has been given "quote unquote" secret directives like this.
Okay. All right. Now, this might be OP. Feel free to say it is, but I've got an intelligence officer background. Does the Klingon intelligence service have Tal Shiar style override authority, or the ability to take command, or just outright say, you're relieved, out? Is that a thing we could do, or not quite?
If you want to make that your advantage for today's session, we can say that it will lower the difficulty of overriding command functions.
Would it be detected or known if I was to pull that out?
I would say in a post-mortem, yes, but in the moment, no.
Okay, no, then we're abandoning that. All right. In preparation for the morning, I'm gonna have my staff completely unaware of this. Like, they are gonna be fully isolated. Nobody else. He's explicitly not going to tell any of the other senior officers involved. He's basically keeping it sub rosa. But the idea is he's going to try to orchestrate two things. First, he's going to try to go through the specs from House Lari that were made houseless or otherwise are maybe still disgruntled, and see what can be done to get them organized and angry right around the time that the tactical drills begin. So he's going to try to orchestrate them to have their little uprising, and while that's happening, he's hopefully going to have enough files to figure out a way to subvert any other bridges or any other command functions from trying to get taken over, and allow himself to get access or make a real emergency out of what's happening on the drill. So I guess he's kind of going to have the little uprising going, but in the meantime, keep an eye out for any other saboteurish actions and be ready to counter them and come out looking like the hero. Then, oh yeah, by the way, I'm on the bridge and this is a fake dagger. The captain is dead. The admiral is dead, or you're all blown up. Things like that.
Okay, I'm just making notes of all that here. All right.
Yeah, trying to think like the filthy Romulans, but in a new galaxy, one cannot be too prepared.
No, and that's actually why we're doing this this drill, is because that's the admiral function. Like, we don't know what to expect in Seg 1, so that's why we're doing this. Got it. Okay, I think I have the notes here. Feel free to correct me if I get them wrong in the future, but I think I got notes for that. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, Klingon CIA level shit.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Kanas, what do you got going on for your department, or what are you doing in the morning?
So, just to clarify, the two drills are back to back, right? So it's going to be we stand back from when our departments are running and kind of letting them go on their own, and then we're the saboteurs, or are they like one big drill?
One big drill.
Okay, so it's one big drill. Okay. So I think then what Kanas will do is spend part of the morning just kind of observing her crew and kind of like seeing if there is like one of the staff members that seems like they could probably be a good like leader, and just kind of because, Kanas does not want any more humiliation upon her med crew. So just kind of like taking survey, like obviously doesn't want to intervene and like be like, oh yeah, by the way, you should make sure you're, prepped and ready, but just kind of like getting a sense of, okay, do I think this is going to go better? Am I identifying some key people that like, maybe could just make sure that they're not on lunch break during the drill, as it were? Just like make sure that they're in like a prime spot to be most effective. And then possibly grab some, I don't know if there would be like blood packs or any sort of like ways that if like part of the saboteur to kind of like make people think that there was like injury or somewhere elsewhere on the ship to kind of divert away from the crew. And I don't know, I'm just kind of like spitballing here. I think I'd also be I would be more concerned with, does my team do good versus are we successful infiltrating, just because of the absolute humiliation.
Got it. Tell you what, we're going to give a name to this NPC because I think they might become important. We're going to call them Capress Rark. They are your good underling that usually takes command whenever you are unavailable. And you would see that they are going to be on duty during the tactical shift, and based on your observations of them thus far, they're a good sort. You know, they're not the best out there yet, but they are enough that they'll be able to handle about 75% of most things that could come up.
Okay, so I do identify that there is somebody who could whip the what is it, like the 30% who just didn't feel confident, who didn't feel as ready to handle into shape, because those are the prime ones that I could expect more from in this one.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think a press could do a good job of that.
All right, if you could spell that somewhere.
It's actually in Foundry. I typed it up there.
Oh, beautiful. Let me go find it in there. I just have to find where it lives.
Should be in the chat in the roll window.
Oh, perfect. I see it there. I had another tab open. All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So, anybody have any other items of business before we get to the tactical drill?
I think I'm good.
I'm good too.
Okay. All right. So, in that case, we're going to enter into the afternoon, and this time the Honasto goes to red alert. So klaxon begins sounding, boots on the deck plate as everybody scrambles to get to their duty stations. And there is a number of simulations that are occurring. Similar to the opener of the Honasto game, the ship is simulating a fleet engagement where the Honasto is having to fend off a fleet. So even through the bulkheads, you are feeling a simulated rumble of the ship as it does maneuvers. You are aware that the disruptor turrets, the flak turrets, are firing. The whole 9 yards. Like, they are putting almost everything they can into this simulation to ensure that the Honasto is tactically ready for whatever awaits you in Seg 1. However, you are agent saboteurs, and it is my question to the four of you: how do you want to begin? And one thing I would also tell you real quick is that I have 6 threat, which means I have 3 complications I can throw at you at this point. So how would you all like to begin your mutiny, quote unquote?
Yeah, so I guess the question is, are we just gonna try to be like, hey, we're your commanders, get out of our way, we're walking to this location, or are we going to, I think we should just walk up and be like, hello, assume we are simulating this, and then we begin, either dodging the patrols or fighting them when we have to get to the bridge. I think that's kind of the vibe.
But we're not going to the bridge. We're going to the
the
bridge.
Secondary bridge. Yeah, whatever the correct bridge is the one we're going to. I don't think that, like.
So theoretically, there will only be 2 guards at the entrance. Maybe a couple of guards inside.
Yeah, and then
we just stun the fuck out of them, and
right.
I will set my bat list to stun. Yes. No, I'll leave the special bat list in medical, because I don't want to attract any attention, so I want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. In that case, we're going to say that you arrive outside the auxiliary command deck, and it's not a very glorious thing. Like, again, the main command deck, glorious. It's the CIC. It's this is my command room for the entire vessel. Like, it is a glorious display of, displays and readouts and other important information and control systems. The auxiliary command deck, even from the exterior, where there are 3 guards currently situated, it looks like a piece of shit, is the best way I can put it.
Okay.
The corridor looks to be in disrepair. The doors look like they have scratch marks from a targ or some other kind of beast. Like, if you didn't know that this was the auxiliary command deck, you would have just thought that this was like a targ pen or something.
Wow. All right, well, that's good. We've identified a blatant weak point. That's good. It's
Indeed.
Part of what we're here for. And all 3 of there's 3 guards outside, yeah?
Yeah, there's 3 guards outside. They do have batlists. They're not currently wielding them. Their batlists are on their back, though. So you would also note that they have disruptor pistols as well, if that settles into anything for you.
I mean, disruptor pistols don't have stun. They have training variants. Is that? Are they equipped with real live fire ones for training?
Rubber band.
I am going to say that I'm going to spend 2 threat to say that they are not the training variant. They are very much the live fire.
The real one.
All right.
Ooh.
Well, we still got our orders to not hurt anybody, right? So, you know, I think we. The best way forward is maybe I just approach and be like, yeah, we're part of the drill. We're saboteurs. Defend yourself, and then I just go beat the crap out of the first one I see. Just bare knuckle it. And see how quickly the response time is.
Let me think. How do I?
That's my thought. I mean, the point is that we're trying to test their readiness. So,
a croc. Why don't you give me a presence and a security? I'm going to set the difficulty at a 3 here.
Okay.
And we'll have leadership as a focus.
Understood. Let's see. I'll give you one momentum, go up to 3. I'll give you the rest threat, go up to 4 die.
Okay.
I want to let you have a little bit of fun here too. All right, here we go.
No, 3 successes.
Oh, nice.
So that is what you need. So you walk up to the officers, you say, "This is a drill. I will be getting into that command bridge," or something along those lines. Defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And your officers actually are a little bit slow in the uptake. Like, they're already going for their batliths and their disruptor pistols, but
Nice.
You have a chance to act. And this is an open question for all of you, since the players get to go first. You also did just get a momentum and a complication from chat. Thank you, chat. But which among you would like to act first?
I yield. Anything that Maury does is going to depend upon what happens elsewhere.
Okay.
I was gonna say I'll go ahead and try to incapacitate whoever the ranking security person is here, if there is one among them.
Okay. Would you be using your fists? Would you be using a dagger? Would you be using a low-powered disruptor pistol, a batlith? What does that look like?
Are they reaching for their batliths?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. I'll pull out I guess, can I momentum to have a batlith as well?
You would actually, if I remember correctly, it's part of your normal belongings, so you would just have
correct.
a
Okay.
batlith.
Copy. Yeah, then sure. We'll go ahead and do a batlith fight.
Okay. So for you, that would be a daring security. The difficulty is a 1, but as a reminder, the more successes you get, the harder it is to get a counterattack.
Yeah. I'm a focus, melee weapons. Let's do momentum up to 4, and then I'm just going to do threat up to 5. Let's try to get rid of one of them.
Okay.
Just rapidly. Just rip them up.
So that would bring your momentum down to a 2, and I would have 9 threat if I did the math on that.
I guess use all the momentum. I'm hoping I'll be able to get some back right here.
Okay.
It's only a difficulty 1, right?
Yeah, it's only again, it's how many successes you get is how many I have to.
Oh, right. So I won't get momentum back on this one, correct?
Well, it depends on what I roll.
Okay. Then leave the 2 momentum, go up to 9 threat. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate you. All right, let's get it in.
All right, that is 6 successes. All right. Well, I do want to give your underling a shot here, so I am going to spend 3 threat that you just gave me to give him 4 dice. It is possible. It's not probable, but it is possible. If I could type today, let's expand out that 53 and see what that is. A 15, a 14, a 15, and a 9, a whole lot of nothing. So he only rolled one success.
All right.
So you actually are now capped on momentum again. Well done.
There you go.
Now, one thing I'm going to point out is that unless you want to do lethal, this is considered to be a non-lethal attack, which they will have some resistance against.
Definitely.
But go ahead and roll your Batleth damage, which I believe is 8 for you.
Yep.
Okay. So I will tell you that based on the fact you have Vicious 1, that is a total of 9 damage. Klingons have resistance of 2 against non-lethal attacks, and they're wearing armor. So the total damage done is 6, and as a reminder, the magic number in the system is 5 or more.
5.
So tell us a bit about how you knock out this first Klingon.
I'll just walk up, do my whole, hey, I'm an intruder, defend yourself, and I'll just pull my batless out and kind of slap him right in the crown of the head with the hilt, and then like kick him in the knee so he falls down.
Okay. Yeah, and he goes down hard. He was doing his best to respond, but he just wasn't quick enough to beat you on the upswing.
Yep.
All right. So that's the player's turn. The enemy, quote unquote, is going to get to go next, and I think what's going to happen is they are going to attack you in unison.
Yes.
So what that's going to mean is I'm actually going to set a difficulty. You know what? Let me roll first, and you know what? To make it interesting, I'm going to spend all the threat. I'm just going to spend all the threat.
Oh boy,
Let's go! This is what
Yes.
we live for.
Threaten
Spend all
that
the
part of the infiltration. Threaten them. Thank you.
All right, let's expand out that
Oh, we
47.
got a comp.
They did get a comp, but they also got, how many is that? 4.
2, 3, 4.
They got 5 successes here.
nice.
Wow.
So
BB.
there will be a complication, but I will tell you, Akroc, that you need to roll me 6 successes here to not
do
get
it.
hit by 2 attacks at the same time.
Let's do it. If it's okay with everybody, I'm gonna just use that momentum and go to 5 die and really just give it my all, if that's all right.
Save 1 or 2 for us peons who might not have
You'll
an
have,
immediate advantage.
Could
There'll
give
be
me
one
threat.
left over,
That's
right?
always an option. You can't always
Oh, yeah, I guess
substitute
I-
momentum with threat.
Yeah, I'll do 3 momentum and the rest threat.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Only 5, unfortunately.
Yep.
So let me roll damage on this, and you know what? I think this is a Klingon game, so I'm gonna actually spend the 2 threat to say that they are not holding back, even though that you told them this is a drill. They're not gonna hold back.
Respectable.
Uh-huh.
So the total damage from their attack will be, oh dear. So how much stress do you have? You have what, 16?
16, yeah.
Okay, and you are wearing armor.
I do have Brocklol.
So, and you do well. That was the threat I just spent. They are attempting
Oh,
to
I
be
see, I see.
lethal.
Mm-hmm.
So this actually is going to give Kanas something to do because they are going to not kill you, but they will cut you down in a way that you are now considered to be lethally injured. And what that looks like on your sheet is you're going to take 10 stress here.
Okay.
So I believe you would be down to 6, I think.
Oh, I see. I clicked 10. Oh, I see. Got it. So it's
Yeah. There you go. You
backwards.
got it.
Got
So
it.
yeah, the 2 Klingon guards come in and cut a crack down. A crack goes to the floor. What do the rest of you do? Because it comes back around to the players once more.
All right. Well, I would definitely barrel in with emergency medicine and try to patch that up.
Okay.
And I guess also I would say, I don't know, field medicine. I probably would have had equipment because we knew we were going into some shenanigans. So I probably would have been prepared for shenanigans. So I don't know if field medicine applies. I guess it depends on what the extent of the injuries are. Because I imagine I wouldn't have brought like a whole like med bay, but I would have had like a general like
Med kit?
yeah, like the med kit tricorder, like standard issue, walking around, going into trouble.
I gotcha.
So
I'm going to say that the difficulty on this will be a 4 after accounting for field medicine.
okay, and then I'll use emergency medicine too.
As a focus, yep. And this is going to be a daring and a medicine on your part. And as a reminder, you do have bolt medicine.
I do have bold medicine. So I'll do that. Yeah, we're doing pretty good because you spent all the threats, so we don't have to worry about the Borg showing up.
Mm-hmm. How many
All
die
right.
do you want to give me with threat?
All right. What are we saying? I want to bump if I want to. So I'll use a focus, and I want to bump it to, let's say, 4 die.
4 die.
What is that?
Okay.
Yeah,
That
I
would
think
be
that should
3
be-
threats,
three
so
threat.
bring me to 4 threat total.
I think that's pretty good, guys. I think we good.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's do this. And then, oh yeah, I am using so the bold medicine is in there.
That is
shoot.
impressive.
Oh,
That
wowie
is-
zowie.
That is 7 successes,
Dang.
which I believe once again caps you on momentum. And
Nice.
yeah, I'm going to let you make the call, Honasto. Do you just patch a crack up, or do you get him back in the fight?
I think he can, with 7 successes, I think he's ready to raring to go.
Yeah, get me back in there.
Yeah.
What do you think, Coach?
He's feeling better than he did before the fight.
Give me some stims. Yeah.
I like to imagine it's like that scene in South Park where a crack gets up and says, "I don't hear no bell."
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but unfortunately, it is now the enemy's turn again. Since they have both already acted, I have to spend threat so they can act again.
Nice.
So I am going to spend threat again,
Come at me. Come at me.
and they are going to come at you. Just
I
one
ain't
of them.
down
though.
yet, boy.
Just one of them. Just one of them, though.
Yeah.
Let me see. They are, you know what? They're just going to roll 2d20. I kind of want to save 2 threat just in case.
All right.
All right, let's expand out that 24. Okay, you only need to get 3 successes on this to counterattack.
All right.
Hmm.
Let's see.
And remember, it is a daring security on your part.
Heard. Yeah, we'll do 3 momentum up to 4 die. Take the threat again. We'll go to 5 die. We're just gonna try to just get him out of here.
Yeah,
Roar.
You're,
Yeah.
you're
Damn.
capped on momentum once more.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll
I'll keep feeding it to you.
Go ahead and roll me your damage, because let me actually qualify. Are you being lethal now, or are you still sticking to non-lethal?
No, I'm still sticking to non-lethal. I'm not gonna.
All right, go ahead and roll me some damage then. Okay. That would be 8 damage, because there's 4 effects, so that would be 8 damage subtracted by 3. That would be enough to put down the guard that's attacking you.
Perfect. Yeah. Knas runs over, gives me a stim, gets me back up. I haven't stood up yet. I'm just gonna kick him in the shin, and he drops. I'm just gonna slam his head like 3 times on the ground and then stand back up again.
Love it, love it. Well, at this point, I have no more enemies to act, so we now go to, I believe we have Mori and Dagon are up next.
Egon, sure.
Go for it.
I will take my duck tug and stab one of them non-lethally.
Okay. Another daring security opposed.
Yep, and I'll take one momentum for an extra dice because it's a difficulty 2, right?
Difficulty of
we're
1.
just looking for. Oh yeah, right. Okay, so using focus, I have edged weapons as a focus. 3 dice. Boom.
4 successes,
Oh, yeah.
meaning that I would have to roll 5 successes to hit you here.
Nice.
Yeah, good luck.
Do I make this interesting? Yeah, I'll spend 3 threat. Why not?
Nice.
Sounds good.
Let's make this interesting. So they're rolling
Yeah.
4d20. I think with a
Oh,
63, I don't think it's happening.
Oh, and a complication.
And
And a
Oh,
company, yeah. So go ahead and roll damage dice, but I think I already know how this is going to go. 'Cause I have a feeling. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. Is Dagon, you bring out your deck tag and you go for a strike, and the guard tries to catch the blade with his batleth, but something in the batleth gives, and your dagger literally cleaves the batleth in 2, and you are able to, again, non-lethally incapacitate this remaining guard.
I stab him in a non-vital area.
Yeah, he'll get cover. He's got redundant organs.
He's got a lot of redundancies.
That's it.
And get him in one of the livers.
Yeah.
That's it.
But the good news is we're out of combat. The auxiliary command deck is in front of you. Where do you go from here?
Inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that one of those with the getting me up? Does that do anything to stressor now?
No, your stress would still stay 6 until the end of the scene.
Copy. All right, sounds good.
But yeah, I'm actually going to spend 2 threat here to make the complication that when you actually try to enter into the door does not respond to any of your command codes.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, good to know.
Good job, guys.
Truly prepared for infiltrators. Yeah, I respect that.
Bring out my hypo spanner from my engineering kit there, and lift up the panel and start doing my thing.
All right, so since you're doing this against the Croc, Dagon, if you could give me a daring engineering, and I would give you reverse engineering as a focus. I will tell you the difficulty here will be a 4.
Ooh, fun.
Okay. I am going to take. Do I want to go with 2 extra dice?
Remember, threat's always an option.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll give you two threat.
2 threat. Okay.
Yep. No fun without it.
5 successes. You get a momentum back to your trouble. So yeah, Dagon, you pop open the panel next to the door and you type in on your hypo spanner, which is now apparently a thing, and maybe you remove a self-sealing stem bolt because those damn things are everywhere. And then the door opens to the auxiliary command deck. And what you all see inside is that it is more like a typical Klingon bridge than it is the resplendent main command deck. And what I mean by that is it's a very small bridge, standard chair in the middle, kind of these almost roll cage-like bars that come out to either side. There's a smattering of consoles of varying readouts of types. So you have like helm, tactical, medical, ops, the whole 9 yards.
Communications, etc.
Nobody
it's minimalistic.
is in. Yeah, exactly. Very militaristic. But nobody is in here. Not even extra guards. Wow. And the air actually kind of tastes a little bit stale for some reason.
Wow.
Okay.
Nobody's ventilation hasn't worked too well in this area. Got it. Taking notes for later.
But
we'll go in, secure the door behind us. Yeah.
Let's go to the tactical station and start doing some rewiring so I can override the command codes and transfer the bridge to the auxiliary.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am going to tell you this will be, and this is an open task. You can have 1 assist, so I'll let you decide who's assisting whom on this. This is either a daring security or a daring command. So again, figure out amongst yourselves who's doing what. Again, this is a 1 assist roll, but it's a difficulty of 5.
Right.
Could I assist with like daring security or command and use the focus of starship security systems to make it so that the security systems aren't going to try to like block them out?
I'd allow it, yeah.
Okay.
And I believe that would also
that's my
trigger.
idea.
If you wanted to trigger commanding bloodline, you would have to do daring and command for you.
Would that still work there, you would say?
Yeah, it would still work, yeah.
Okay. That's the best I can do. Daring command, 15 with a focus, and commanding bloodline proc.
Now, since I'm doing engineering to bypass security, for example, and to rewire, transferring those chips there, data chips, could I not use engineering instead of security?
It's a fair argument. I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Though, real quick, let me check with Maury, because I think Maury might have a higher score. Let me just check.
For engineering?
Well, in terms of like command or security.
Well, he's probably got a higher command. I mean,
Yeah,
my command's not that
command
bad either.
5. Yeah, but as long as if I assist, it's not going to impact anything. I might want to roll. Still have yet to
Well,
fruition this.
it's just one dice for you, so I need to make the main rolls there.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like, if I understand correctly, we've got Dagon doing the bulk of the work, and then a crack is assisting that. I think is how it plays out.
Yeah, more
Yep.
if you'd rather assist, if you have, if you want to go for it, I
mean,
don't mind at all.
Maury's in a whole different location, but if they never
Yeah.
said we can't assist elsewhere,
This is true.
he's doing his own thing. That's he's keeping his stuff classified, but I don't think he would refuse to assist.
Well, your call.
As long as assisting does not compromise what we're doing, nobody can tap in on our comms or whatever, right?
No,
So
I mean, you
you'd
also
be
have
doing
commanding bloodline, much like a crack does, so you would also ignore the first complication.
Hell, I'm down. Why not? YOLO.
Okay.
what is
Oh,
this, press
also,
command?
important distinction here, Maury, you also have advisor. So they could Dagon could re-roll one die if need be.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Ooh,
All right,
I
I'm a
like
force
that.
multiplier. Let's do this.
yeah. So I think daring command for you.
Yep,
Right,
daring
Dagon?
command for Maury, and then daring engineering for Dagon.
And then I will go for. Oh, you got one success with a 2. Wow.
Actually, a crit, because you would have coordinated efforts, so that would actually
Nice.
be 2 successes.
I'm
Sweet.
going to roll 2 extra dice. That's 4. I'm
Does it-
using.
That just counts like extra because it's coordinated efforts, right?
Yeah, so because you rolled underneath a 5, which is your command score, since you have a focus, you rolled a 2. 2 is less than 5, so you get 2 free successes.
Nice.
Enjoy.
Okay,
shit.
well, this is
And
good.
then-
That
yeah.
it's good and bad. So you have 4 successes at the moment, but you can re-roll because Maury has advisor. So I'd recommend re-rolling the 20.
Wait, doesn't
Oh,
he
no,
also
that's
have also commanding bloodline? When I attempted blah blah blah. Oh wait,
So if
well,
they
those
roll
make you
another
ignore them.
complication, then commanding bloodline would come
Yeah.
into play.
You want to do it advisor first because you can just re-roll the comp,
Mhm.
and then.
Point.
There you go. You got your 5. All right, so Maury and Dagon working together, you are able to wrestle control of the Honasto.
Nice.
The power is at your fingertips. What do you do with that power?
Shut down systems.
Okay. Are you shutting
Shut down
down
everything but life support.
everything? but
And
life support?
Wait, hold up. I got a better idea.
defense, of course.
I have an idea that might be a thought to kind of emphasizing the end of the exercise. Can we synthesize like some kind of harmless fog and pump it into the life support controls of the command bridge? Like just turn the place green and be like,
Sure.
we have infiltrated the ship and the command deck has been flooded with gas. Exercise
Kerosene
infiltration.
gas. Yeah. Say goodnight, Gracies.
I
Right.
like it.
Sleep well, losers.
Yeah, it's harmless. We're just pumping like I don't know cornstarch in there, but it's
Nice.
green
Yep.
cornstarch.
Yeah,
Yep.
yummy.
Sounds good.
Cornstarch, the choice vapor of Klingons, apparently.
Of course.
Mm.
Klingon vaporwave is nuts.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think what happens is, you pump in the cornstarch because I find that funny, and after a moment, there's kind of another bosun's whistle, and Admiral Zark comes over the comms across the ship and goes, "The tactical drill has been completed. We have been bested by a insider threat. I would remind all stations and departments that allowing a unsolicited and unknown enemy to compromise the vessel is unacceptable. We will be doing further drills tomorrow to ensure that further compromising of the command line is not possible."
Nice.
Mm.
We should send up the guards that we KO'd to vacuum up the cornstarch with unfiltered vacuums.
Nice.
Nasty.
Oh, I love it. All right.
Well, I like the
one-
fact that the whole bridge crew has to take a shower now.
Yeah.
Because they got cornstarch in all their orifices.
Oh, and it's all over their armor too. That's the worst part. Is you got to get it out of the
Nice.
armor, which is just like, ugh.
And
All
that
right,
shit
boys,
gets
bring out the
gelatinous. Have fun.
Bring out the toothbrushes.
Oh. But before we sign off for the evening, I do want to
Beautiful.
give everybody a chance to chip in here. So I'm going to start with Kanas. So Kanas, how would your department have fared during the tactical drill? This is a narrative decision I'm going to give to each of you.
I think we would have definitely done better because between a combination of cracking down on the people who needed to study up and learn what to do, I definitely had a good, I have to scroll up to the name, but I definitely had a somebody who had their act together to kind of wrangle it, and we weeded out a lot of the riffraff. So I think my team, we would have definitely, probably not 100%, but did not bring honor to sick bay.
Okay. Got it. Maury, how was your your department handled?
So the department is probably a little bit chomping at the bit. They don't like the fact that there's so very little to do for lawyers and diplomats to lend when there's time for honor. Maury is probably rousing them and trying to lift spirits, teaching them how to do Sabotage by the Beastie Boys and Klingon lawyer karaoke. But while the staff might be a little bit, they understand their roles, they understand what they can and cannot do. They also understand they should not be doctors. Meanwhile, since Maury kind of has this little intelligence officer background thing going on, he has not really mentioned anything to anyone, but he's kind of making notes as to how easy it was to identify possible weak points in the House Laurie stragglers, as it were, and other soft factors. He's kind of getting ready to dig into how these weak points may expose the ship to dishonor. So there's work to be done.
I like it a lot. Dagon, what about your department?
I think they fared very well, except now I did take notes, so I have some how would I say, reprogramming to do so that it isn't as easy as it was this time.
Okay.
Mind you, I am the best engineer on the ship, so it's a challenge. It's a challenge to challenge myself here.
Yeah. There you go. I'm sure hubris will not come to bite back at all. Not at all.
No, not at all.
Never.
Delegate problems, not glory.
There you go. And finally, a crack. What about your department?
I'd say with the advantage from earlier, like the security teams were, doing great on the grander side of the ship. My yelling at them really put them in line. But I think it'd be kind of funny if these guards that were here are part of the newly acquired randos from House Laurie, and they've got like bottom of the barrel shifts. Like, hey, your house, whether you're not a part of it anymore, right? They committed a lot of dishonor. So because of that, we're going to give you the crappy spots, right? You're just going to stand in the hallway and do nothing all day. And
Surprise!
So they were just kind of not really happy to be here. No friends, just kind of a little sad today. And then I'd show up and we beat the crap out of them. So.
Man, wake up, house gets dishonored,
right?
Get KO'd by a couple of randos, make a sit around, do nothing, gotta sniff cornstarch later. This place looks like a great time to foment some rebellion.
Right.
Yeah.
I will make sure to go and find all these guards later and thank them for their
training exercise.
Honorable display of combat. Yeah, I was like, they did well. They did. I'll give them a little bit of praise. Make sure they know, hey, you got the short end of the straw. It sucks, but hey, you tried your hardest, and tomorrow we'll make sure you try even harder. So
there you go.
They swung back with honor.
Yeah, they did.
They really had you taken another attack like that.
Yeah,
we might have actually had to have Kanas do the "Don't you die on me" talent.
Yeah, they were going for it.
Yeah,
respectable indeed.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to bring today's session to a close. What did you all think? Like I said, I wanted to give you all a chance to, talk about your departments. I wanted to kind of bring in and kind of narrow in areas that I am making notes of all this to say that it's going to be very hard, or at least difficult for me to easily break your ship once you arrive at Seg 1.
Well, That's good.
Yeah, I was kind of planning on it couldn't have been this easy to take over the whole ship, but we got some weak points. I was ready to do the whole, like, raise chaos and, oh, by the way, I've snuck onto the bridge and you're all dead. But this is a good sign, kind of, that we were able to actually make this happen.
Yeah.
To be fair, we got way above average.
Our rolls were
successes.
wild.
There were some bonkers rolls. Like, I started off not so great, but then y'all picked it up and...
I mean, we've got 5 successes, 7 successes, 6 successes. I mean, that's
It got
highly
silly.
That's above the average here.
Yeah.
So it changes the storyline a bit.
Just a bit.
So-
Just a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Twitch, stick around because we're going to raid somebody. But YouTube, this is where we say goodbye. Bye, YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.